All right, the big movie hitting screens this weekend is Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald, and we are here to let you know what we thought about it.
We saw this last night, so this is fresh in our brain.
Is right there, and it's the big movie this week, the big release.
Instant family. No, it's Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Grindelwald, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
This movie is directed by David Yates and is written by J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, both Harry Potter standbys at this point.
Yeah. And the cast, of course, is Eddie Redmayne. You have Dan Fogler, Katherine, Waterston, Ezra Miller, Jude Law, and then about 30 more people in the cast. I picked the ones that stood out to me immediately, but they were really good. But your quickie synopsis: the second installment of the Fantastic Beasts series set in J.K. Rowling's wizarding world, featuring the adventures of magizoologist Newt Scamander. Now, this is coming out November 16th, which is this Friday. And overall, DJ, we got to go to a really cool screening. Thank you to Real D 3D, who invited us to a fun screening. We got drinks, we got snacks, we got to meet a bunch of cool people. We sat down, and we got to enjoy this movie in 3D.
Yeah, and I got to say right off the bat, I'm not usually a 3Dsman. Looked really good.
Yeah.
The whole movie, the style of it, all the magic in it, all the creatures themselves. There are significantly less creatures in this installment than the previous one, but all the creature designs. If you're going in for a fun ride with some cool uses of magic, cool creatures, and just be in the Harry Potter world, I think you're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes, no, the creature design in this, for me,
there's one specific one that it's like, yes, please, is there a toy of it? I want it.
Yeah, for me, there's two. There are some really cool designs, and so for me, the creature design in this and the use of them, like specifically how they utilized all of them in this movie, was more interesting to me than in the first Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
And I like the Paris backdrop. That's where this movie is set. And there are some interesting elements, but we're getting to overall thoughts. No way, this is spoiler-free.
Yeah, so we're going to keep it entirely spoiler-free. If you want to check out our spoiler discussion about it, tune into our podcast on Monday.
There you go.
We're gonna dive deep into it.
Yes, but in overall thoughts, I'll be honest with you, candid. I had about 2 beers before this started, and so I was
butterbeers. Anybody asking?
They did have butterbeers, which is very fun. Alcoholic ones.
Yeah.
So I was feeling pretty jolly, and I sat down. And I'm like, wow, this just I kind of get it. I get like. I was never a huge Harry Potter fan, but I enjoy it, of course. Yeah. And I was like, I was grooving with it. I was like, okay, I see the world that people love, and they want to revisit more and more in these movies. I see the magic and the CGI in this movie is beautiful.
Yeah, it's some of the best CGI I think I've seen in any blockbuster this year.
Yeah, it's really incredible, and you need to commend those artists and the creatures. They're so inventive and they're so creative, and that's where I was sucked into it. But I will say the story. It's pretty trying. It's pretty hard to follow what is exactly happening in this movie.
When it starts going, as the movie keeps going, it keeps adding plot threads until it gets to the end where there's just a straight like 15-minute exposition to even just try to explain what's happening, and even then it just keeps getting more convoluted.
Yeah,
needlessly.
You think it would be just a little bit. It almost makes it clear.
Yeah,
and then there's another twist,
and you're like, well, what is even happening? Like, and it's tough, and because there's so many characters, and every character basically exists to set up new plot threads, and there's references to plot threads from Harry Potter, and they're setting up plot threads for future movies, and then there's plot threads within plot threads. It's hard to invest in anybody or any particular story, and it requires, and it kind of wants you to care about everybody. And I don't know about you,
I don't think we had enough time.
It's just actors whose performance you like Jacob Scamander's human buddy.
Yeah,
I like his performance. He seems like a likable character, and so I kind of gravitate towards him. But otherwise, like, I'm not a huge Newt fan.
No,
I don't.
I liked him more in this movie personally.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of female characters that are way into him, and I don't see the appeal. Like, it's not like I just don't understand why everybody's so into Newt. Personally, his brother's cool. We meet his brother in this movie. Yeah,
that's the only one I remember because I was like, is that Greek? I went off on a tangent in my brain. I'm like, is that a Greek god? He's like, what is that one? I think it is, but I didn't do the research for this review.
The Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie, as of this recording, all critics it's 51%. Top critics is 35%, which is pretty harsh.
Yeah.
But kind of in line with my feelings for it as well. It feels like other. It's a fun ride, but all of the plot elements make it kind of challenging to just sit back and enjoy the movie.
It's at points. Like you see new characters being kind of like you see a bunch of characters being paired off, and at a certain point, everyone's getting paired off with like 2 or 3 new people, and you're like, I don't know who these people. I don't have enough time to even remember anybody's name in this movie.
It's almost like Avengers: Infinity War if half the characters were introduced in that movie.
In that movie,
you know what I mean? It's like what's happening?
Yeah, at the very least in like that movie, because I'm not comparing those movies.
Yeah.
Only
there's a lot of characters.
There's a lot of characters, but at least we all had a general idea of who each person. Also, to be fair, like Avengers, at least everyone looked very distinct, and it was easy to kind of be like, and
that's
this is the
kind
person.
of the benefit of a superhero movie is at least they all have their own individual costumes and stuff like that. It makes it a little bit easier.
But not talking about that.
Yeah.
It's also doesn't feel like its own movie. It feels like this is a bridge to something else, and I don't know if I can really hang around for another one.
I think in the last time with the first Fantastic Beasts movie, I think I brought up that it felt like it was 3 movies. It was fun creature Ghostbusters, which more of that, please. That's the most fun part of these movies, while also setting up its own franchise, while also being a prelude to another franchise, the Harry Potter franchise, and it's just in this movie like doubles down on all of the Beast one. Beast one it dials back, which is a bummer because that's the most fun. Yeah, and it like triples down on the other things, and it just it's a shame. I kind of wonder what it would be like. This is supposed to be part 2 of 5 movies. If they originally,
who knows if they're going to stick to that?
Yeah, but it kind of makes me wish that if you knew like Harry Potter's a strong brand, if you knew that was your goal. Kind of dialing back all the Grindelwald, setting up that stuff, and let that be for later movies. Let the first 2 or 3 movies be. I love the idea of like the magical world of America, the magical world of France. They all kind of feel the same, which is a shame because they shouldn't. Yeah. But letting this guy explore these worlds, find creatures, and in the backgrounds you're hearing like kind of Voldemort was in the original Harry Potter movies. He was kind of like in the background, and then in later movies it kind of became like, oh, this is the thing we need to deal with.
There's a clear turning point in that series where it's like, and now this is at the forefront.
This is the thing. Yeah. We've had enough of the school, and it makes you miss how simple the original Harry Potter premise was. It's like, a year at school for this kid learning magic, and we're all kind of with him learning magic with him. Yeah,
cool. And I could understand the creators behind this series, Fantastic Beasts, being like, okay, you guys graduated from the school, so you can handle like these bigger stories with bigger themes or whatnot. It's like, yeah, except this is like really leaning into a lot of inside baseball knowledge about Harry Potter lore. Like there's one character.
There's one specific character that I think is just for Harry Potter fans because he was mentioned once in the book.
Yeah, I don't know who he is, and like he doesn't introduce himself, and he just is there, and it's like, I guess I should care. Yeah. I don't though.
And he ends up being really important to the finale. Yeah, for some reason.
He's just kind of like this. He's kind of like a MacGuffin. It's just weird, and overall, and like there's points in the movie where like you have all your side characters all on their own specific like missions and goals and whatever fears. Yeah. Then they're all exploring that, and at one point our main Newt and somebody else end up finding all the side characters in one room, just kind of like
all just sitting around waiting for them
until they all kind of sit down and they explain everything. Yeah. They just explain. They use visuals, but it's still someone just telling a story. But anyways, when we do our reviews, we like to kind of break it down to positives and negatives to make it clear. But usually we do 3 positives, 1 negative. This movie's a little bit more challenging, so we're going to do 2 positives, 2 negatives. When it comes to positives, I'd say that the cast is very good. The cast is phenomenal. They do a good job.
They do a good job with what they're given. Standout, I think we both agree, Jude Law as young Dumbledore, because you like Dumbledore, you like Jude Law. They just give us a gift and make them both the same guy, and we're good to go. And those I think are my favorite scenes.
Being totally frank too, Jude Law in this movie is playing Jude Law, and that's not a problem.
Right? It's not a problem because Jude Law is super likable.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just like, it's kind of like when like some people are like, oh, Ryan Reynolds just playing himself in a movie. It's like, because he's likable. It works.
A good bit. Yeah, it's a good also, bit. I don't know if we already knew this. Fans are probably gonna eat me alive. No, maybe it's a spoiler. I'm gonna keep it to myself. We found out what he taught. Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool. Nice. Yeah, you learn more about him, and I think that's every part of the movie when he popped up was great. Yes. And I know we're still in positive, so I am gonna bring up a negative in a second, but also. CGI, I'm going to use that to wrap up all magic and the creatures because the creatures are so creative. There's like some that you see that are just on the loose, which is cool. Yeah. Or you have ones that are more like guards. I'm keeping this super vague. So it's like... and
the use of magic, they find ways to use magic in new and creative ways. Yes. And that's always fun. And and David Yates has done like... 7 or 8 of these movies now. He's done a bunch of these movies.
Yeah.
And so he gets it. And I think the texture he gives the world is cool. Like it's kind of darker and grittier, but it still allows for the light whimsy. It's a nice balance. So I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it definitely looks very good. They, like you said, it's probably the most impressive CGI of the year.
Yeah, which is saying something.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
But those are our positives. When it comes to the negatives, it's just too much. There's too much. There's too much story and not enough time to even dive into a piece of it.
This desperately wants to be a miniseries.
Yeah,
yeah, like a season on Netflix, or it also kind of feels like, you know, J.R.R. Tolkien had these books of notes that his son went and published that were like just backstory stuff, and it feels like somebody took that and made a movie out of it and just lightly put some narrative between those. Like, hey, Credence was, she's in the trailers. Credence was pals with Nagini the snake. Cool. But it just feels like somebody's notes from other stuff, and I wish either we did more, like we made it a series, or we trimmed it down to make it actually work as a movie.
Yeah, I know what my second negative is. Oh, thank you for the 200 bits from Ken Thora. But what would your second negative be?
I want to hear your second negative, because
I'd say Johnny Depp. I'd say that's. I'd say let's taking away a lot of the stuff that's surrounding him, and when he was added to this movie, he does a good job as an actor, which is he's not doing a shtick really. So so I guess that's it's kind of a positive, but it's just so distracting, and I'm not really okay with the way that the crew has kind of tried to work their way around like justifying
the issues surrounding him. It's tough. It's tough because there's a lot of baggage around Johnny Depp right now. But for the role he's given, he does a good job playing it. Yeah,
but there's so much there that it was distracting to me in the movie. So
yeah. And he also has this like crazy contact in one of his eyes that's kind of distracting too.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look as good as they wanted it to. Probably would that be your second as well?
I don't know. I think the plot one was just so. You know what? There was so much plot in this movie. It takes up 2 of my negatives.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. John Stick 118. Colin Farrell was way better. NP idea. No idea why they changed it. Yeah, there could have been a way that they could have done like, oh, he shapeshifted, but he's going to do it again because he really liked the Colin Farrell get up.
Something like that. Yeah, it's so if you're a Harry Potter fan, you just want a fun ride with some fun magic, you will probably enjoy this movie.
A casual fan who just watched the movies and you're not keeping up with all the lore and Pottermore and everything like that, you might have some trouble figuring out everything because you're going to hear a lot of names that sound familiar, but you're going to wonder what that means exactly.
A lot of plot points revolve around finding out somebody's surname.
Oh yeah,
so much of the movie is really concerned with people's surnames.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions, and I wish. I guess I wish these movies dove into the scenery more, the setting, like because it's not,
especially in Paris, and the idea of like how that, because we saw a little bit of the school in I think 4.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see that, but so we like to do fun rating systems in this, choosing stuff that like is not your traditional numbering system, and we had a great idea like, hey, how many of these Harry Potter movies have been at this point? And it turns out it's 10. So this is just going to be out of 10.
Wow, crazy number. It's pretty rough, but it is a beautiful movie, so I'd give it like a 6 out of 10.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to give it a 7 out of 10 because it did look real nice, and I didn't necessarily not enjoy it.
No, yeah.
I just couldn't follow it.
Yeah, I couldn't follow it, and that like it felt very fan servicey, which our superhero movies are like that too. But but I can follow enough of the plot to make it worthwhile. So and in this, it's just like, I'm so confused, and again, it feels like this is
exhausting.
This is a little piece of masking tape holding 2 things together, and you need to get to the next point, if that at all would even give us more information. Yeah. Also, for so much plot that happened, I don't think I learned anything new, which is just so confusing. But anyways,
you know what my second negative is? I think Newt's a weak protagonist. I just think he's not interesting. It's like, we've got a lot of charismatic assholes and stuff, and you're like, cool. It's like, what if we made an uncharismatic weirdo? It's like, ooh, way less compelling. I just don't. I'm just, like, it makes me uncomfortable watching him. It's like, just stand up straight, guy. Like, you've got magic. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what your deal is.
Everybody likes to be around him, and I don't understand it. Anyway, whatever. So,
also, a really fun segment that I like to do is What's on the Box?
Oh, yeah, What's on the box?
Just calm down is what would be.
Calm down.
Sam Basher, 2018.
Did I miss something?
Yeah.
Did I miss something? Is there like a movie in between these movies?
Wait, what's your face for? Did I miss something? What would you? And that's right next. It's ... that face.
Yeah. Did I miss something?
But do you guys agree with us about Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald? Let us know in the comments down below. But before you do that, like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you stay up to date with new videos. But also, we have a bunch of new content that you can find over at onlystupidanswers.com. Also, you can click right here for patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. You can find our new comic book review show, Super TV Showdown, where we watch all the Super TV shows. And also, you can click right here for new videos on our YouTube channel. You can go to DJ Talks Trash on Twitter. You can go to Sam Basher on Twitter as well. And also, goodbye. That's it. Go. I don't want you here no more. You took our time. That's it. I don't want
you. Is your audition for your Fantastic Beasts character?
Germany.
Movie 3.
Yeah, movie 3. You gotta go.